Hi guys, so welcome back to another tutorial in the bug tracker series. Today we're going to be making the view bugs so you can actually view all the details on the bugs. Currently this is what we have, and this is what we're going to be making today. So when you click on this bug it will display all the bug information and we're going to be able to mark it as complete. So if we go into our VS Code, and I'm just going to organize this a little bit. So if we make a new folder and call it components, and we'll drag the bug card in, and we'll drag the login in, and oh sorry, I lie, login's the pages, we'll drag that in there. Okay, so inside the component, if we make a new folder and we'll do bug view, and then we'll make a couple files inside there, so we'll do bug view.jsx, and we'll do the CSS as well. So we'll bring in all the boilerplate that we need for React. Export default, arrow function, return. So inside the return, we're going to have a container, so we'll have a div, and we'll give that a class name of bug view. And then inside there, we're going to want a title, so we'll do a h1, and we're going to be passing in the title of the bug that's being clicked. So if we're going to have props, and we'll have props, or what should we have it? We'll just have props dot bug dot name, and that is because we're going to pass the whole bug inside of it. So we'll get the name out of the nid bug, and then we're going to want a couple sections. Now they're all going to be the same sections, so we're going to make a component so we don't have to keep on writing these sections out all the time. So if we go in our bug view and we create a component folder, and we'll create a file, and we'll say bug view section.jsx. We'll also do the CSS, bug view section.css. Go inside there, we'll bring in all the boilerplate like we normally do. Alright, so inside here we are going to have a div with a class name of view section, and then we're going to have a h1, and we're going to be passing some props in again, props, and we'll have props title, and they're going to have a paragraph, and we're going to get the props, and we'll get info. So that is it. We'll have to import the CSS for bug view section. So now that is the section done, and if we style the section, so if we go and get the view section, and we're going to set a minimum width because we're going to have two displayed side by side in the panel, so we're going to minimum width of 40%, so then we're getting 2. We're going to text align this to center. We're going to set the background color, and the background color is going to be, it's going to be a slight off white, so we'll go F2, F2, F2. Have a margin of 10 pixels, have a padding of 10 pixels, and we're going to have a border radius to round the edges to 5 pixels. Now we want to style the H2, so we'll get the view section H2, and we're going to give it a bit of a margin because it will be sat too close to everything, so we're going to have none for top, none for right, we're going to have 15 pixels for the bottom and none anywhere else. Now the reason I'm doing it like this rather than having margin bottom and just setting it to 15 is because it will already have part of a margin attached to the H2, and I don't want the margin, so we're going to set it all to 0 apart from the bottom. Now we'll do a bottom border so we can separate it, so we'll have a line. Bottom border, 1 pixel, groove, set it to black. Save that, and that is the view bug section done. So inside the bug view, if we import the view section, and we'll import that from our component, perfect. Now before I forget, if we import the bug view CSS, I always forget to do it and wonder why it doesn't actually style. So now we're getting the section. If we start adding our sections, so go bug view section, we'll bring in that, and it takes title. So we're going to start putting in all of the information that we're getting from the bug. So we'll have details, and then we'll pass in info. Now in info, we're going to pass in the bug that we're getting from our cards when we click it. So go props.bug.details. To make our lives easier, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to import bug model from the bug model we created a bit earlier, and then I'm going to make a constant and I'll call it bug, and this is going to equal a new bug model, and we're going to pass in props.bug, and then that's going to make our lives a little bit easier when we're passing it down here. So if I go bug.name, perfect, bug.details, there we go, this works a lot better. And then I'm just going to copy and paste this just so we have a couple extra steps. So we'll have steps in this one, and we'll go bug.steps. Going to have priority, bugs.priority. We'll have creator, have a couple more. We're going to have app version, and then we'll go version, and then there's going to be time created time. So now that we've got this, if we go into our view bugs page, so at the moment we've got when the bug is being clicked, but it's not actually showing us anything. And when the bug is clicked, it's passing the name of the bug back to here. So we're going to want to import from React. We're going to use state, and we're going to use the state to display the bug container. We'll set that to display underscore bug and set underscore display underscore bug. And I'll use state, not selector, use state. And the state is going to be an object, and inside the object we're going to have name, and that will just be an empty string because that will be the name of the bug that's clicked, and is going to be is displayed, which will be a bool. We're going to set that to false. So now we've got that, we want to be setting this every time this is clicked. And if we go into here and get the set bug set display bug, and we want to set it with the name that's being passed in, and we want to set this opposite to what it currently is so we can actually close it later on. So if we get the is displayed, and we're going to set this to opposite, so exclamation mark, and we're going to get the display bug, and we'll get the current is displayed, and then that's going to return true at the current second, so it will show it. And then we'll get name, and we'll set that to name. So now we've got that, when we click the bug card, it will toggle this and set the name of the bug itself that we've clicked. But we need to pass that bug now into our bug view bug view component that we've just created. So if we bring in the bug view that we just created, and we make a conditional down here. Now the conditional is going to be display bug dot is displayed, and if it's displayed, we're going to go and, so we can only get the true version of it, and we're going to display bug view. Now inside bug view, we need to pass in two things. Well, we'll pass in one thing for now, just to show you what it's doing. So we need to pass in bug, which is the prop that we want to pass in, and we want to pass in the bug that has that name. So at the moment we have a object with all of the bugs coming back from our state. We need to filter that down by the name that we're getting here. So if we get the bugs and we go filter, and this is going to take a function, and we're going to pass in the current one that it's the current bug it's iterating through. And we do an arrow function, and we're going to return, and we want to get the bug variable dot name and check if it equals to the display bug dot name. So if it equals it, then it's going to return that bug and send it in a prop. So if we save that, cd to our front end at npm start, we should get an unstyled version of the bug view. Okay, so we're getting an error, and that's because when we move the login, it can no longer find the image for the background. So if we quickly go and find the image for the background, save that, and now we're getting another one which is view bugs, module cannot find, view bug card. That's the problem when you go moving things about. Save that. And the last one is we've got to go to the priority controller. Sorry about that, guys. So let's go to login, go to view bugs, and you can see we've got a very unstyled version, but it is displaying some information. So let's go ahead and style it. So inside the view bug CSS, so we want to get the bug view class, and we want it to sit on top of everything. So we're going to have a position of absolute, and we're going to set the Z index, and we're just going to set it to 10 just so we're a bit overcautious. Let's have a width of 60 VW, view width. We'll give it a border of 1 pixel, solid border, and let's make it black. We'll give it a box shadow, and let's give that 2 pixels, 2 pixels, and then we'll give it a black, but let's hover over, and let's just bring the alpha down a bit. give it a border radius of 5 pixels, background color, and we'll set that to our variable of prime color. Was it a capital or no? Nope. Prime color. We'll set the margin, and then we'll just set that to 1%. We're going to have a display flex, so everything inside of it is inside the flex box. So we need to make sure that the flex wrap is set to wrap. And we'll make everything censor, so we'll justify content into the censor. So we save that, go to log back in, and now everything's sat on top. And we still don't have a background, so we can't find that variable. Now, why can't you find a variable? Prime color. Prime color. So why aren't you finding that variable? Oh, that's why. So now there you go. Now we want the text to be black because it's sitting on a white background, so we'll just set the color to black. And now that's looking a lot better. Now we're not getting any information passed to it. And why is that? So the reason that is my bad. So inside the view page, view bugs page, where we're filtering it, we don't want to return it. So we'll just delete that and delete the curly braces, because that will automatically return it to our bug for us. It's returning it as an array, which we don't want. We want to get the first element, because it's only going to return one element with the same name. So we'll get the first element and pass it through. So if we save that and log back in, now we're getting all the information, but it's not very styled and it doesn't look very good. So let's style the flexbox a little bit. So let's go into the view bug view, and we'll get the H1 because that's sitting wrapped currently. So we'll get bug view H1. Oh, get the class bug view H1, and we're going to set the min width to 100%. We're going to text align to center, and we'll set the color to white because it's not got a background. And then we're going to make the font size a little bit bigger because it looked a little bit small. We'll set that to 3 rem. We'll set a padding bottom just to push it away from the rest of the content, and we'll set that to 20 pixels. Let's have a look at that. And yeah, and then we want to they're H1s. So inside the view bug section, sorry, I don't want a H1, I want a H2. I'll log back in. That's better. And then we're going to put a bottom line across the H1 at the top. So go back to the bug view. We'll do our bottom border, and we'll set that to 1 pixel groove white. Save that and have a look. So now that's looking a lot better. We need to put a close button at the top so we can actually close this panel, because at the moment it's a bit useless, we can't do anything with it. So inside the JSX, we will add a close button at the top. So let's go button, close, and we want to set a class name of close button, and this is going to have an on click. Now the on click, we're going to on click back the props. So we'll go props dot clicked. So if we save that, and now we've got a close button at the top, but we don't want it one pushing away from here and two sat in the middle, because that looks absolutely horrendous. So inside the CSS, we grab the close button, that we just created. We'll set the position to absolute, and we want it to go all the way to the right, so we'll go right, and we'll set it to 0, and then we'll set top to 0. Let's have a look at that. And it's sat in the right top corner. So maybe if we set a margin, let's set that to 10 pixels, and it pushes it away from the top corner, so that looks a lot better. We're going to need a mark complete button at the bottom. So if we go down to the bottom, add a button, mark complete, save that, and we're getting a mark complete button down the bottom. Now this will dispatch an action inside of our Redux actions, and if you go into our Redux, have a look at the bug slice, you see we've got the Redux mark complete. So inside here, if we bring in from React Redux, and we'll bring in use dispatch, and then we need to bring in the action from our slice actions itself. Let's go find our controller, Redux, bug slice, and we're going to mark complete. So we'll make a constant and call that dispatch, and use dispatch, and then in the on click of that button, so on click, we'll pass in a anonymous function, curly function, and we are going to dispatch the mark complete function we just brought in when that bug is clicked. Now that will close the but thing, that will mark it as complete. We're going to need an edit button a little bit later, but we can't do that until we actually have a create bug panel, which will be in the next tutorial. So if we save that, we've now got a close button and a mark complete button. Now that's dispatching, but there's nothing that's actually doing anything inside the action, and we haven't actually got the prop clicking this at the moment. So in the view bugs page, we need to get another prop, which will be clicked, and we're just going to call bug clicked, and that will toggle it, and because we're not passing a name back, it just resets the name back to blank. So now we should be closing and should be able to open up the other ones, and it works perfect. Now you might have noticed by now, every time we refresh the page, we get logged out, and it's really annoying, and that's because we're not saving the state anywhere. The state keeps on getting overwritten. So in the next tutorial, I will be showing you how to save our Redux state so we don't keep on getting logged out, and we'll be bringing in a create bug so an admin can create a bug and also edit the bug when the admin mucks up. So I hope you liked this. Tutorial, and I hope you've learned something new. Sorry about a lot of cock-ups in it, but that's just how it goes in the programming world. Please like and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next videos.